Callie Finn, all right, we're back. We are counting down the top 10 best moments in 2024 in women's sports. And we've gotten a few out the way, and we're down to number 7. So let's go ahead and start with a sport that's dear to both of us, and that is Team USA women's basketball winning the gold medal at the Paris Olympics in dramatic fashion, Callie. I'm not sure if they had won the gold and they just blew out France the way that I think many were expecting the game to go. I'm not even sure if this would make the top 10 because they've set a really high standard, and the expectation was for them to win gold. The expectation was for no one to compete with them. And so that last game put a scare in everyone. And when you think about it, was coming off of the men playing France, also in a game that they were down for a lot of it, and we weren't sure if they were going to win, if they were going to suffer a loss. So then the women to come back and have like something similar go on with their game was just crazy. Stewie kills me with this
That's one of
because
my
the way
favorite
that game ended,
It's
Gabby
hilarious.
Williams shoots a shot, but her foot is on the line, and so she makes it. But France ends up losing, Callie, by 1 point. They lose by 1 point, and Team USA gets the win
Yeah, you know,
and
I
the
thought
gold.
interesting that you said that if they had just blown them out, we maybe it wouldn't make the list. That says something. You know, we should honor excellence no matter what. But I hear you. I do hear you. This gave us a level of a thrill that we maybe weren't expecting. And I will give you that. One thing that's crazy to me is it's the longest Olympic gold medal streak in a traditional team sport. Men's or women's, okay? 8
Yeah.
straight Olympic gold is ridiculous. The fact that we got a little bit of like fun and it is really just a bonus for us because, like you said, it could have just been rolled through, got the W, and it maybe just wouldn't have been that interesting, but it was. And I think we saw. I'm the Aces beat reporter, so we gotta shout out some of the Aces. Asia Wilson, 21 point. I don't even remember 13 rebounds, double double to lead the
4
team.
blocks.
Yeah, 4
She went
blocks. I mean,
crazy.
that is dominance, and well earned. Ended up winning like player of the tournament, as however it's specifically called. But it wasn't just her. Kelsey Plum was pretty key from the Aces in that game with 12 points.
She
Jackie
was. I
Young.
love what Dawn Staley said here, though, about Asia. At the end of the day, we had Asia Wilson and they didn't. I love
Yeah.
that quote from her. That's what she said on the broadcast because really it wasn't the best offensive game from Asia. She started slow, but what she brought on defense, her refusal to let the team lose, for the whole time leading up to this point, it was kind of her and Stewie, and it really was. It's their team. It was kind of a changing of the guard. Diana Taurasi didn't even play in that game. She didn't see minutes in that game. Neither did Jewel Lloyd, right? So it's this changing of the guard, and yet, Cheryl Reed calls on Asia Wilson, calls her number to like take the lead. And that's with Brianna Stewart on the team. That's with her own superstar and Nafisa Collier on the team. And it was just a continuation of Asia's dominance throughout this basketball season. We know she did amazing things in the WNBA that we spoke about. And so for her to do this on the biggest stage, the grandest stage, that's why she's the best player in the WNBA, and she was the best player overall. Team USA's leading scorer. You mentioned Kelsey Plum, critical in that last game. Kalia Copper, also very critical in that last game. Remember what Asia said about her on the broadcast afterwards, Callie?
IBITCH. She wasn't wrong. She was not wrong. She was not wrong.
No, she wasn't, and that was a great moment. Ka really came in. Her and I think a little underrated Sabrina Ionescu. Between her, Kelsey, and Ka, those three really came in and changed the game. They played a little faster. They were getting to the basket at will, couldn't be stopped. I think Sabrina chipped in with 3 assists, so she was helping to create, got the ball moving. The defense, Kelsey, you mentioned Kelsey, she played great on ball defense. Ka was also great defensively, coupled with, I think, Stewie had a big block in there. Nafisa Collier also had a number of rebounds. I mean, this was just a really big collective team win. And woo, we saw in those photos the sigh of relief they were all breathing afterwards, because we really didn't know. We didn't really know who was winning that game. So congratulations to Team USA on their 8th straight. And you're right, Callie, I shouldn't take that kind of greatness for granted, because there's a reason why they're the only ones to do it. Like you said, in a traditional sport, right? All right, Callie, who do we got next?
Number 6. Wow, we're actually making some good progress. Okay, number 6, USA track and field. Okay, came from behind to win 4x1 gold. And the 4x1 is one of the best races in any track meet, but at the Olympics, man, it was the setting, like the stage was set perfectly. We have to remember this was Sha'Carri Richardson's Olympic debut. She'd gotten silver in the 100-meter race when she was, I mean, really maybe the favorite. I would say she was the favorite for me to win gold, but got silver, then came into this 4x1. Mind you, it's pouring rain. She's running in the rain. She gets the baton in 3rd place from Gabby Thomas, comes from behind and just kills it. I was hoping that the photo of her looking back was going to come up, because that was just legendary, unforgettable. The stare down.
Well, it's
I'm
here. Look
What
at
do you say?
it.
Oh, there it
I said,
is.
there it
There
is.
it is. See, my vision's not good. I couldn't even tell that was the photo. But that was unreal. For Gabby Thomas, that was the 2nd gold medal, because she got gold in the 200, which was one of my favorite races of the entire event. She was stunning in that race, but this one, I love the photos from it because the rain. Are you kidding me? This is like triumph for Sha'Carri, because remember when she was introduced to us, she was just this star out of LSU who was so exciting, fashionable, all these things. And then so many things happened in her career. She was eliminated, or disqualified for the Olympics in her first go of it. And then went through 4 years of just like coming back and just showing who she is. And I loved it. Sha'Carri having that moment is one thing, but just the Team USA in general having that moment was another. And just to have it all together in the rain, cinematic. That's cinematic.
I want to ask you about like the significance of them running in the rain. But before we do, can we get another look at the Sha'Carri stare down?
Thank you.
Because what an iconic moment, you
Yeah.
know? It's so iconic. Like, look at that. I mean, because Callie, doesn't that take time off when you're racing to do that? I mean, she looked to make sure she was ahead, but I mean, for her to do that in the moment, I mean, that's wild. That is
It's
crazy to
amazing.
me.
But Sha'Carri is
This is
not new to that.
crazy to me.
Sha'Carri is not new to that. I think back to even when she was at LSU, like she would put her hands up before going to the finish line. Like those are all things that most people just can't do. Amateurs don't try it at home. You run through that line or your coach will yell at you. You know what I'm saying? But Sha'Carri is Sha'Carri. She can do different things. And so the stare down, you love to see it. It wasn't the only stare down that we saw in the Olympics. I could have sworn that somebody stared down Noah Lyles or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is a really cool thing that you can do when you're an elite athlete in track and field. Wouldn't recommend for everybody else.
Yeah, I always remember how everyone always talked about Bolt because he started celebrating early, and they're like, "Do you know what the world record would have been if he would have just like ran the whole way through?" So, I mean, these iconic athletes having these iconic moments, that's part of why this came in the ranking where it is. But there was just so much significance to it. Obviously, you mentioned Gabby already. One of the 3 gold medals she would win at this Olympics. And then Sha'Carri, I also think because, it's crazy because we need to celebrate all achievements. We were just talking about this earlier with USA basketball, and Sha'Carri got silver in the 100 meters, which is still something to celebrate and be
Absolutely.
proud of. But I think a lot of people were disappointed she didn't win the 100. Julian Alfred won. So for her to have this come from behind, anchor leg, to secure the gold for the USA track and field women in the rain. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
this is worthy. How hard is it to run in the rain, Callie? Just let the people know before we move on really quickly.
I mean, it's nothing for them. I'm just talking more about the like aesthetics. It's super cool to see that. Like it looks visually appealing. But no, I mean for these athletes, this is nothing. I mean, I think that the handoffs in the rain though, that's what would have been difficult. And I think you even kind of saw that between Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri because you're
Yeah.
trying to pass a metal bar that's going to be slippery quickly without looking. These are blind handoffs in the 4
And without dropping.
You can look and all this stuff, but in the 4x1, it's quick. You have a short exchange zone. And they did it. They pulled it off in the rain. So that's where I would say the rain would have come into play, but not necessarily for the running.
Okay. Well, congratulations, USA Women's Track and Field, who just did their big one all throughout this Olympics. I mean, we didn't even talk about Tara. I mean, there's just so many women who were amazing for track and field. And glamorous and I loved all the TikToks and the videos. So it was a really great time for track and field. But there were another set of women we have to talk about who also did their big one in this Olympics, and that is the US Women's National Soccer Team. And you know what? They come in at number 5, and this was so hard. Like these rankings were so hard, you know? So they make it to the gold medal game, taking on Brazil, taking on Marta on the other side. And it's like, yes, Marta isn't in her prime. She isn't what she used to be, but she's still the GOAT, you know, that everyone considers her for most purposes the GOAT. And so you have this young team, a team that didn't make it out of the round of 16 in the World Cup. So a lot of commentary about them, about how serious this team is. They're too busy, you know, quote unquote, being like political or not paying attention to what they need to do on the field. So new coach, and you didn't have people like Alex Morgan, which was a whole thing. She didn't get selected for this team. No more Megan Rapinoe. So it's a true changing of the guard. And they came in here and they won. They won a gold medal at the Olympics. And that's the standard for the U.S. women's national team. So shout out to them. You see all the respect there for Marta. And this is the future right there. Triple espresso, 3 of the more popular players on that team.
Not just triple espresso. I did not know
that's their name. They decided that was their nickname. So it wasn't me. They named themselves that, or people offered different names, and that's the one they chose. So hey.
So I'm guessing it's Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and then who's the third?
Mallory Swanson.
Okay, period. We love that. I mean, I think that, I mean, they were key. And the whole thing, I mean, you look back through, you know, their road to the gold medal game. You saw Trinity Rodman score a game winner against Japan. And then Sophia Smith had a deciding goal against Germany that was like late and clutch. So I think that in the gold medal game against Brazil, Mallory Swanson she scored the team's only goal. So triple espresso. All right now.
Yeah. And they were part of that historic all Black front line that you and I spoke about early in the year, which was another big thing for this team. So yeah, I mean, I think they just made everyone pride, and they have like a sense of energy and enthusiasm about them, you know, especially Trinity. She brings so much energy. And so, you know, Marta said a lot of like kind words about the sport and where it is now, you know, and heading and like where she's leaving it. And, you know, at least she was able to get the NWSL championship later, even though she didn't win that gold medal. She didn't get the gold medal in the Olympics, but just an incredible game. Like either way, obviously I'm here in the US, I'm supporting the US women's national team, but like, that's another thing. We were talking about a game earlier in the volleyball matchup that it would have been history on either side, would have been history either way in this matchup if Marta, you know, in Brazil would have gotten that win. So big time matchup. It lived up to the billing, great match. And US women's national team is back, baby. They are golden again. So listen, so many teams, these group, you know, the team events, the Olympics in general were a big reason why women's sports were so big this year. Not the only reason, but like the women dominated the Olympics, and we're going to continue to talk about them more. But in these team sports, I mean, really, women really stood out. They racked up a lot of medals, and so we had to acknowledge them. But we're going to stop our countdown here. So if you want to know who is going to finish in the remaining of our list and our countdown, make sure you tune in and catch the next segment. Thank you, Callie Finn.
Thanks, Nat.